Saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman. Pinagmulan at babalikan, konting tiis na lang, at hanggang sa araw na yan ay asal. Kami nandito lang, sabay na pakinggan ang mga kwento nyo. Sigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Pilipino, itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo ang galing nyo, isigaw sa mundo.
Rose Eclarinal, kasama po si Gene Alcantara para po sa Usapang Everything Royal. Malaking pasensya ang hinihingi po namin dahil sa ating problema sa internet connection, at kanina po ang nakapanayam natin ay ang royal commentator, journalist, TV presenter na si Ian Pelham-Turner, na nagbigay po sa atin ng kanyang mga saloobin at obserbasyon tungkol sa royal family. Gene?
So, ballerina Angela Grant trained in some of the most prestigious ballet schools in the UK. She started her modeling career at the age of 17. Posing for Vogue UK. She modeled in the Philippines for both TV and ramp. In 2001, she started a ballet school in London, and that's where her inspiring story as a ballet teacher began. Let's hear it from this blue-blooded British Pinay, Angela Grant. And yes, she's related to the royals.
Wow. Wow, related to the royal. So, panoorin po natin ang ating interview kay Angela Grant, blue-blooded, related to the royal family, ballerina, and now a ballet teacher. Hi, Angela Grant. Welcome to JUANEUKONEK. It's good to see you. Tell us about your modeling career in Manila.
Right.
Yes. How did it all happen?
Well, I went over to the Philippines in the late 90s, and I thought I'd have a go at modeling. My cousin was modeling there. My cousin was also a booker. So I went on to a few castings, and I landed 2 campaigns. One of them was Ivory soap, and then after that was Lux shampoo.
Yes.
And I did a lot of guest appearances as well for the campaign. I think I was on Easy Dancing a couple of times. I danced on that show. I think I was on Eat Bulagat, but I definitely was on quite a few TV shows to promote the campaign.
Your whole modeling stint in Manila, how long did it last? And what was your takeaway from that experience?
It lasted for a good few years, but in between, I was also teaching and I was still dancing. From that whole experience, I gained a lot of confidence, to be honest, being in front of the camera. Because I'd always been performing on stage.
How about your learnings about your roots? Because you're half Filipina, your mother is Filipina, and your father is British.
I was very fortunate that my mother, because she came over from the Philippines in the 70s, I basically lived in a very Filipino household in the UK. She taught us a lot about the Philippines and the culture from a very young age. So when I went over to the Philippines, it wasn't so much of a culture shock. Although I don't speak Tagalog, I can say a few words, I can understand a lot of it. So I would hear Tagalog as I was growing up. So when I went back to the Philippines, it wasn't so much of a shock or a surprise, the food or the way people behaved, the way the country was run. So it wasn't too much of a shock or a surprise for me.
How old were you when you started ballet? How young were you, and the kind of training that you got at an early age?
I started ballet when I was 7 in a small ballet school in Nottingham. That's where I grew up. And she was an old school, very strict ballet teacher. Then at the age of 14, I went to the prestigious Elmhurst Ballet School, which is one of the top, it's perhaps the second best ballet school to go away and professionally train as a dancer in the UK after the Royal Ballet. And I was there for 4 years, and it was intense. You had to wake up at 7 o'clock, you had hours of ballet classes, then you had to go to your school because you had to have education. And then I went off to a dance college in London, and then I became a freelance dancer, and I literally was dancing professionally in the UK and Europe before the Philippines. Yeah.
And who influenced you to become a ballerina?
Well, I guess my first ballet teacher was a huge influence. This is the one in Nottingham when I was 7 years old. Then when I went away to train at a professional dance school, that's when I really thought, this is what I want to do. I was passionate about ballet and dance before then, but when you go to a school like that, it's either yes, I love it, or no, it's not what I want to do. Because it's so intense and it's grueling, you have to decide yes or no. So the school, what the teachers at that school would have, yes.
Angela, how long was your stay in the Philippines?
It was a good, maybe about 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, and I was in and out there because I was coming back home to the UK because I wanted to see my family. There was also quite a tragedy that happened in the UK while I was away that I had to fly back to.
And then I understand that when you came back to the UK, you started your ballet school. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I had 2 girls, but when I had my second child, I decided to train as a teacher with the Royal Academy of Dance. Now that was a 2-year training program to get my certificate to teach ballet under the Royal Academy of Dance. After that 2-year intense training, and I passed it, I set up my ballet school in West London, and I started a handful of students. I think I started with about 10 students, and within a year I had a school, I had 120 students, and it's grown ever since then. So it's in its 12th year.
You must have encountered challenges along the way. Can you please tell us some of those, and how did you overcome them?
Well, the biggest challenge has been this last year.
Okay.
trying to keep my business going and the children dancing. I have had a few challenges. I've had studios close and trying to look for another studio locally. Because I have to stick in my area. So my area where I teach is in West London, in Acton, Shepherd's Bush. And so that is my little hub. I can't, well, I could if I wanted to expand to another area, but that's my hub. So I've had times when, you know, there's been a fire in the studio and I've had to look for another place to teach my classes, and there aren't many studios because they're either taken up by other dance schools or they're full. That's been the main problems, but in general it's okay. It's just that this last year's been the challenge. Yeah.
What have you learned during that 1 year when you were trying to, you know, navigate into your business, how to run your business during a lockdown?
I learned how to be a little bit more techie and technical. I learned how to Zoom. I've learned how to film myself dancing. I mean, teach myself. Sorry, as in on screen. I've taught myself how to film myself, edit, because what I've been doing is a lot of my students don't like doing live Zoom classes.
Okay.
So what I did was I set up a YouTube channel and I started to film myself. and edit classes. This is what I was doing over lockdown. But I did set up my Zoom classes, and my living room turned into a ballet studio for 1 year. I lost over half of my students.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
so I teach from the ages of 2.5 to 80 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
Wow.
yes. So that's another thing. I've actually started to teach an older set of groups of ladies online this last year. So the pandemic has in a way increased my business. It's made it grow a bit more. That
Okay.
I'm now doing a combination of online studio and online and studio together.
Well done, you. Because
Yeah.
you managed to squeeze in everything during the
Yes,
pandemic to
yes.
learn, to teach, and all, what have you in that.
Yes, exactly. And I was also doing courses. I did a COVID-19 mental health child training course, because I know that when I go back and teach, a lot of the children may have issues, and I'll have to recognize them.
Now, Angela, because this afternoon is all about royal, tell us about this royal connection.
Well, my great-grandmother grew up and was the first cousin to the Queen Mother. That's Elizabeth. So they grew up in Glamis Castle in Scotland. I'm actually Scottish, so I've got a Scottish side. So Teeny Ernestine was born and raised in Glamis Castle with the Queen Mother, and she left and married. She was actually married twice, but her second husband was a French Canadian baron, and that's where I get my name from, Baron de Longueuil. Now my father is the 12th Baron de Longueuil, and so they're related. We are related to the royal family because of the Queen Mother was my great grandmother's first cousin.
First cousin.
Okay. So which makes the Queen my grandfather's second, and then my father
Yes.
the third. If I do it very slowly like that, yes. So and also my father's title, Baron de Longueuil, is very unusual in the sense that it is the only title that the Queen has recognized in a French colonial country like Canada, and the monarch of Canada is the Queen. So who is my father's second cousin once removed. So it's the only title recognized by her in Canada.
So do you have a title?
I will have a title, yes.
It will be passed to you by your father.
Yes, and I will be
a baroness.
I will be Baroness. Yes, de Longueuil, yes.
Baroness de
You know what's
Longueuil.
quite interesting is I will be the first female Baroness. There hasn't been. They've all been barons. So from the beginning, they've all been barons. So I will be the first Baroness. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
We have to wait for that to happen. That's history.
Yes.
That's amazing, Angela. So you had a privileged upbringing, but
Yes.
I've seen you work so hard.
Yes.
Where did you get that work ethic?
I think the work ethic, it all comes down to dance training, ballet training. There's nothing like training in a ballet class or training to be a dancer, because you have to train every day. You have to be perfect, you have to get stronger, and you have to keep practicing. And I think once you have that, it will take you anywhere in life, even if it's to get dressed up for a party or to go for an interview. You will want to be your best, you will want to rehearse.
So your mother must have done well in choosing that school for you and your siblings.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yep.
Some people are questioning the relevance of the royal family in this time and age. For you, Angela, do you still see the relevance of the royal family?
I think absolutely that the royal family is relevant. I think a lot of young people would say they're out of date. Some older people would say that too. But the royal family and the Queen, they do carry out a lot of important roles and work for the public and charitable services. And I think that's so important. And I think it strengthens nationally unity and stability in the UK. And I think without them, there'll be a massive hole.
Yeah.
So I really do think, yes,
It's
they're relevant. And I did watch the funeral, and I must say that I was quite emotional, and I thought it was beautifully executed. It was calm, it was dignified, and in royal way, it was flawless.
I
was quite moved by it.
I was also moved by it. I totally agree with you. You know, I love the solemnity of the occasion.
Yes.
We don't want to miss the opportunity to get the advice from you. For those who would like to follow in your footsteps, those who would like to have a career in ballet, who want to become a ballerina, and maybe in the future establish their own business, have their own school.
Yes. I'd say to be really passionate about what you want to do, and to follow that passion every day, practically, of your life, even on a Sunday or a Saturday, and to do it properly. And I always say, don't do it by halves. I remember mentioning that in the documentary I did with you, Rose. But to do things properly, 100%, to follow your dream, to be passionate about it. And this is another thing that I also think is I don't do things for money all the time, because it comes from here. And I always think if you do things from here, then it will come to you. That success will come to you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yes, I think you said that at some point when we were conversing about what keeps you going on a day-to-day basis, because your job is very physical.
Oh, yes.
It's so physical. Well, Angela, thank you for your time. I really
it's so lovely.
I really appreciate this. So those who would like to enroll in your classes, how can they get in touch with you? Where do they click, or which website would they need to?
Okay, I do a Silver Swans class, which was actually aired online by the Royal Academy of Dance. They chose my class to be on their website and their YouTube channel. But I teach a class online every Tuesday for over 55s. They can contact me on, my website is angelagrantdance.co.uk. That's www.angelagrantdance.co.uk. And I teach online classes for over 55s on a Tuesday, 11 a.m. GMT time. I also teach after school on a Saturday, after school in the week and on a Saturday, for children and adults and teenagers, but that's in a studio. So if anyone would like to get in touch with me for classes online or in the studio, my web address is www.angelagrantdance.co.uk.
Thank you so much, Angela Grant, for this opportunity. Maraming salamat po. At ang napanood po ninyo ay ang ating interview sa ballerina at ngayon ay ballet teacher na si Angela Grant. At totoo po yan. Siya ay blue-blooded, related to the royal family. She explained it in the interview. Siya ay magiging Baron de Longai pag ipapasa ito sa kanya ng kanyang tatay. So, yung mother niya is Filipina, so she is half Filipina. At Gene, nakaka-inspire yung story ni Angela kasi nga we did a documentary about her na pinalabas sa Lifestyle Network under ABS-CBN, and we followed her 24/7, yung title ng documentary.
Yeah.
At doon ko nakita kung gaano siya ka-dedicated as a ballerina and as a teacher. Parang wala siyang pahinga, buong araw she's teaching. So I was really amazed and inspired by her story.
Actually, I was thinking, no, while watching the interview, yung nanay ba niya nabigyan din ng, I guess he must have had a title.
I'm not sure about that. Hindi ko natanong sa kanya. Pero parang sa tatay lang yung title niya. Ang gusto kong itanong sa Eugene, this is actually a question I also wanted to ask Ian earlier, but we had technical issues. Yung saan ang galing, saan nag-originate yung salitang blue blood?
Blue blood? Hindi.
Oo.
That's from ancient times. Kasi even I think yung mga coat nila, pag purple, only the royalty could wear that. The type of blue yung tinatawag na royal blue. So I guess parang doon nanggaling yan eh.
So, oo. So yung takeaway ko doon sa interview natin kay Angela is kaano man ang yung estado mo sa buhay, kung meron ka talagang pangarap at saka maganda yung training mo, you can, well, of course, kung magandang start kung meron kayong pera at may edukasyon ka na pag-aral ka. She was sent to a ballet boarding school at siya ay galing sa pamilya na lahat silang magkakapatid achiever. Gene, kung matatandaan mo si Rebecca Grant at saka yung sister niya pa na si my goodness, please remind me. Mas nag-Hollywood to nag-artista sa Hollywood yung kapatid niya. So
I never
lahat
had chance to.
Oo.
Si Rebecca lang alam ko.
Oo. Lahat silang magkakapatid ay pumasok, sa showbiz, pero lahat sila achiever. Nakaka-inspire. Yeah.
And that's a question, no? I mean, you're right, no? I mean, she obviously is an aristocrat. And of course, she's Pinay, so proud tayo dyan. But to see her working so hard and being so grounded, I mean, imagine she's working 6 days a week.
Yes.
Diba?
And then, just like all of us, nagkaroon din siya ng experience doon sa challenges of the lockdown. Ito na nga, na she had to teach herself how to use technology para makapagturo siya. Now, I remember yung pangalan ng kapatid niya, Rachel Grant, based in New York.
Rachel, of course.
Yes, Rachel. Siya yung Bond girl.
Yeah, that's right.
Bond girl. Kaya we should have, Angela said to me that she will link me up with Rachel so we can have her on the show. So it will be, of course, another point of view from one of the Grant sisters.
Yeah.
So very down to earth sila. Siguro, Gene, tingnan din natin yung mga mensahe ng mga nanonood sa atin ngayon na hindi bumitiw kahit nagkaroon tayo ng technical issues. Dan Revelo, ikaw ang unang nakita ko, Dan. Ha, the pain and pleasure of news anchoring. Alin doon? Yung cut off kami sa air.
Yeah.
Yes, that's part of it, Dan. Salamat. Sino pa yung nandito at hindi bumitiw? Si Tina Herrera. Loved Angela's interview. Salamat, Tina. Maganda yung interview ni Angela, nakaka-inspire. Every time she opens her mouth, she says something sensible talaga. She's beautiful and intelligent.
Well, she's an artist also, di ba?
Oh, yes.
So,
Yep. So, there you go. Yan ang mga messages ng ating mga nanunood sa hapon na ito. I said you have intestinal fortitude and admirable. What is this? Longanimity?
Parang invento na yata ito ni Dan,
Salamat Dan sa mga message mo. Napapatawa mo kami ni Gene because tensionado kami dito because earlier meron kaming guest. imagine, royal commentator. Maganda yung relationship ko kay Ian Pelham-Turner. Ewan ko kung sasagutin pa niya ang mga tawag ko at ang message ko sa kanya after this technical problem a while ago.
In fact, Rose, he's just texted me.
And
perhaps we can do it another day.
Okay, salamat. Kaya sabi ko kay Jean, ikaw naman ang mag-text kay Ian kasi napaka-gracious niya talaga po. Simula pa lang nung first royal wedding na na-cover ko kay Prince William and Kate. Tapos nag-Harry and Meghan. So, he always acceded to the interviews. And nakakataba ng puso yung sinabi niya about the Filipinos. I never asked him about the Filipino connection. I just, because he's a royal commentator nga, just, deal with what he had.
Apparently, he was very close to the Miss Saigon cast. So when I mentioned Pinky Amador is in town, he said, "Oh my gosh, please give my number, blah blah blah." And he used to promote the Department of Tourism in cooperation with I don't know if you remember this travel agency called Philippine Islands Connection.
I do remember. Yes.
Yeah, he said, please give my regards to Jay, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, he passed away already." So he was really surprised at that. But clearly, he loves the Philippines and hopefully us Filipinos, because he wants to. I heard him say he wants to organize something.
Okay, well that's good. At least he's still open to have another interview with us. Nakakahiya lang kasi when we have technical issues like that, hindi po talaga natin makokontrol yan. Nangyayari talaga yan, pero yung sa guest namin na naka-live, yun yung nakakahiya sa kanya. He was always gracious. And then he also invited me in one of those River Thames cruise where he showcased his photographs from Princess Margaret. At saka ang maganda sana kung may share natin yung mga anecdotes niya of while taking those photos. So don't worry yung mga nanonood po, mga ka-connect. We will try to get him another day and we will post it on our website, on this page pala. Para makita po ninyo at marinig ninyo from the mouth, from the from Mr. Ian Pelham-Turner himself, yung kanyang mga kwento, dahil nakakatuwang makinig, and especially yung insight niya about the royal family.
Oo. Isang gusto ko lang natin sa mga manonood natin, Rose, is the fact na may mga Pinay, mostly Pinay, working for for members of the royal family. Kaya lang may mga pinirmahan kasi sila na siguro confidentiality clauses o private yung tawag doon, yung
non-disclosure.
Non-disclosure agreement. Kaya hindi talaga sila pwede magsalita. But it's fascinating na we have members of the community working for the royal family. Isa sa pinakasikat dyan, of course, was Lily Piccio, who actually worked for Princess Diana and when Prince William and Prince Harry were just boys.
Oh yes, that's right. Pero Jean, tinanong ko si Angela kanina about, yung insight niya or yung feelings niya towards yung relevance ng royal family. And syempre, bilang related to the royal family, she thinks na relevant pa rin ito. And a lot of the people in the UK, kaya naman nandiyan pa yung monarchy, nandiyan pa si Queen Elizabeth, and we continue to support them because we all, of course, see the value of the royal family. Ikaw, ano yung nakikita mo na pagbabago or maybe the strength of this firm?
Well, for me, kasi I worked for the British Council for 2 decades, and part of the job was selling Britain to the world. And a huge part of that is actually selling the royal family, because they symbolize, tradition, and monarchy is pomp and circumstance. Everybody loves to watch, royalty at work, at play. Kaya kita mo nung actually hindi natin na tanong si Ian kasi nung namatay si Princess Diana, remember? that was like, the whole country talagang stopped, and everyone was waiting on the streets just to see her carriage pass by. So may impact talaga. So mahal sila ng mga Briton. I guess for us Filipinos, siyempre ganun na rin, napamahal na rin sila sa atin. Kaya interested tayo na nagkaroon ng mga controversies tungkol lalo na kay Harry and Meghan. Yun lang ang medyo nakakalungkot doon kasi nag-uusap nga kami ni Mrs. kagabi kasi pinapanood namin, talagang puting-puti yung mga tao sa yung mga tao sa funeral, 'di ba? Yung mga nag-perform, may nagbuhat ng kabaong ni Prince Philip. But hopefully at some point sana maging diverse din sila to reflect the population.
Okay. I think yung Harry and Meghan would require another topic. Masyado siyang malalim. I think we have to understand more, and we have to get more sources, we have to get more interviews so that ma-represent din natin kung ano yung mga saloobin ng mga kababayan nating Pilipino. But yung nag-survey ako sa Filipino community, marami talaga ang royalist. Marami ang sumusuporta kay Queen. At syempre, naiintindihan natin dito, lalo na nung yung mga dumating dito in the 70s. At nakikita nila na up to this day, hardworking pa rin ang ating Dana. And also, Gene, in the last week, simula nung mamatay si Prince Philip, parang syempre nagkaroon tayo ng opportunity to look back into his life and into his legacy. And then I found out na ang dami pala niya talagang nagawa. Imagine 95 years of public service. Well, not 95 kasi syempre hindi naman yung mga early niya, baby pa siya, Pero nag-retire kasi siya at the age of 95. So let's say 7 decades of public service, Yun talaga yung inalay niya sa UK. And yung kwento niya is a lot of people will be able to relate doon sa kwento in some level kasi parang masasabi mo, Gina, refugee din siya eh.
Yeah.
Diba? Wala siyang stateless siya at that time when they were rescued and brought to the UK. So, marami na ganyan pa rin yung kondisyon, fleeing a war-torn country. Ang nangyari lang sa kanya is because galing siya sa isang royal family na kumbaga pinabagsak ang monarkiya sa Greece at that time. Diba?
Yeah. So, may identification talaga tayo kasi mga migrants tayo. So we know what it's like somehow. Diba? Prince yan ng Denmark and Greece, I think.
Yes.
Although, of course, one question that I asked, that people were asking me, was why did he never become a king? And why, kasi the queen, his wife was the queen, so why was he not king? And the simple answer was because he wasn't really in the line of succession, because he was a member of the royal family of another country, not really of the UK. So ang nasa linya lang si Queen Elizabeth.
But would she have the power to make him king? Well, of course, moot and academic na to kasi he's already passed away. Pero kung titingnan mo, pwede kaya yun?
Well, I don't know, because it would be whatever the rules or the law at the time was, or the royal succession rules. Kasi they were able to change that, remember? Because before it would have been, so for now, with Prince William having boys and girls, in the recent past, it would have only been Prince George who would become king. But they changed that so that even the girls could become queen.
Yes.
So you don't have to be the firstborn, basta sunod-sunod sila.
That's true. Okay, magbabasa pa po tayo ng ating mga nanunood ngayon. Babatiin ko lang si Nelly Fami na nanunood po, Caviteños UK. Thank you for watching. Ang ating kaibigan na si Dan Revelo nanunood pa rin. And who else? John G. Pablo. Maraming salamat po sa panunood ninyo kahit nagkaroon tayo ng delay at hindi nyo napakinggan yung magagandang sinabi ni Ian Pelham-Turner. Nangako siya na babalik po siya sa JUANEUKONEK because he has another interview scheduled at around 3 o'clock. So we can't have him back on the show. Pero mapapakinggan natin yung kanyang opinion, insight niya, anecdotes about the royal family. Okay, so I guess that's what we have for this afternoon unless meron ka pang nais ibahagi sa atin, Gene. Maybe a royal encounter. Let's end it with sino po sa inyo ang mayroong magandang royal encounter? Nais ninyong ibahagi sa amin.
Yan. Yan ang maganda.
Oo, royal encounter ninyo. Message us para magkaroon tayo ng we can read it here. Si Mr. David nanonood din kanina. Hi! Hello po. Thank you for watching. And that's it. May isi-share ka pa na royal encounter, Gene?
Well, actually, alam mo, meron akong, it's not really royal encounter, no? But when Princess Diana died, Lily was still in the palace and she invited us to come over sa Kensington Palace. And because I gave her a picture before, which apparently somehow Princess Diana saw. And I think apparently she said something like, "Oh, he's handsome." So, sabi ko, oh wow, that's my royal memory then from Princess Diana. But I was young, so young and I guess pwede pa po.
Oo naman, good looking talaga. At titingnan natin, huwag na natin munang tingnan si Gene ngayon. Ang tingnan natin si Trey. Kasi ganun yata yung Gene when he was younger.
Yeah. But that's true, ha? Magagalit mo si Lily sa akin kasi sinabi ko yan. But anyway, she's not with the royal family now.
Oo, and so Princess Diana has passed away, so that's fine. Meron, yan, one for the books, yung kwento mo na yan.
Yes, definitely.
One for the books talaga. Well, maraming salamat po sa mga sumubaybay sa atin. As ang pangako po namin is ibabalik namin yung interview ni Ian, but not today. Mapapakinggan po ninyo siya, mapapanood ninyo siya dito sa ating streaming sa Facebook and YouTube. At kung meron po kayong mga kwento na nais ninyong talakayin po namin, inbox, message us dahil tatalakayin po natin siya, bibigyan natin siya ng pagkakataon.
Okay.
I think that's it for this afternoon. Maraming salamat po sa pagsubaybay ninyo sa amin. Kasama namin kayo sa pagkonekta sa Europa, sa iba-ibang bahagi ng Europa para sa mga kwentong Pinoy, kwentong migrante, kwentong JUANEUKONEK.
Dahil ang kwento ng Pinoy sa Europa ay kwento ng mga Pilipino saan man sulok ng mundo. Ako po si Rose Eclarinal. At ako po si Gene Alcantara.
Hanggang sa muli
sa
JUANEUKONEK.
Bye po.
Juan, saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran, iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman, pinagmulan at babalikan, konting tiis na lang at hanggang